Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will keep us alive under God's watchful eyes. Today we will be learning about the ancient city of Jerusalem, Part 3. Following the Bar Kokhba revolt, Emperor Hadrian merged Iudaea Province with neighbouring provinces under the new name of Syria Palaestina, switching the name of Judea. The city was retitled Aelia Capitolina and renovated in the style of a standard Roman town. Jewish were forbidden from entering the city on pain of death, except for one day each year throughout the holiday of Tisha B'Av. Taken collectively, these actions, which also upset Jewish Christians, basically secularized the city. The ban was upheld until the 7th century, though Christians would soon be allowed freedom. During the 4th century, the Roman Emperor Constantine I directed the creation of Christian holy sites in the city, including the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Burial remains from the Byzantine period are fully Christian, signifying that the people of Jerusalem in Byzantine times perhaps consisted only of Christians. In the 5th century, the eastern continuance of the Roman Empire ruled. From the newly renamed Constantinople, they upheld control of the city. Within the span of a few eras, Jerusalem moved from Byzantine to Persian rule, then back to Roman-Byzantine dominion. Succeeding Sassanid Khosrau II, early 7th century push through Syria. His generals Shahrbaraz and Shahin attacked Jerusalem, assisted by the Jewish of Palaestina Prima, who had risen up against the Byzantines. In the siege of Jerusalem of 614, after 21 days of unyielding siege warfare, Jerusalem was taken. Byzantine chronicles relate that the Sassanids and Jewish killed tens of thousands of Christians in the city, many at the Mamala Pool, and demolished their monuments and churches, including the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This episode has been the subject of much discussion between historians. The dominated city would remain in Sassanid hands for some 15 years, until the Byzantine Empire, Heraclius, recaptured it in 629. Jerusalem achieved a peak in size and population at the end of the Second Temple period, when the city covered 3/4 of a square mile and had a population of 200,000. Byzantine Jerusalem was captured by the Arab armies of Umar ibn al-Khattab in 638 CE. Among the first Muslims, it was called the City of the Temple, a name confined to the Temple Mount. The rest of the city was called Laya, reflecting the Roman name given to the city, following the destruction of Aelia Capitolina. Later, the Temple Mount became known as the Noble Sanctuary, while the city around it became known as the Holy, Noble. The Islamization of Jerusalem began in the first year AH, 623 CE, when Muslims were ordered to face the city while doing their daily worships. Agreeing to Muslim religious tradition, Muhammad's night journey and descent to heaven took place. After 13 years, the direction of prayer was changed to Mecca. In 638 CE, the Islamic Caliphate stretched its dominion to Jerusalem. With the Arab conquest, Jewish were allowed back into the city. The Rashidun Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab signed a treaty with Christian Patriarch of Jerusalem, Sophronius, pledging him that Jerusalem's Christian holy places and population would be protected under Muslim rule. Christian Arab tradition records that when led to pray at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, one of the holiest sites for Christians, the Caliph Umar refused to pray in the church, so that Muslims would not request conversion of the church to a mosque. He prayed outside the church, where the Mosque of Omar stands to this day, opposite the entrance to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. According to the Gallic bishop Arca, who lived in Jerusalem from 679 to 688, the Mosque of Omar was a rectangular wooden structure built over ruins which could accommodate 3,000 worshippers. When the Arab armies under Umar went to Beit al-Magz in 637 CE, they explored for the site of the farthest place of prayer mosque that was mentioned in the Quran and hadith according to Islamic beliefs. Modern Arabic and Hebrew sources say the site was full of rubbish and that Arabs and Jewish cleaned it. The Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik commissioned the construction of a shrine on the Temple Mount, now known as the Dome of the Rock, in the late 7th century. Two of the city's most distinguished Arab citizens of the 10th century were al-Muqaddasi, the geographer, and al-Tamimi, the physician. Al-Muqaddasi writes that Abd al-Malik built the edifice on the Temple Mount in order to strive in grandeur with Jerusalem's epic churches. Over the next 400 years, Jerusalem's fame weakened as Arab powers in the region vied for control of the city. Jerusalem was seized in 1073 by the Seljuk Turkish commander Atsiz. After Atsiz was killed, the Seljuk prince Tutush I granted the city to Artuk Bey, another Seljuk commander. After Artuk's death in 1091, his son Sokman and Ilghazi governed in the city up to 1098. In 1098, the Fatimids recaptured the city. A messianic Karaite movement to gather in Jerusalem took place, at the turn of the millennium leading to a golden age of Karaite scholarship. It was ended by the Crusades. What is the history of Jerusalem during the Kingdom of Jerusalem? In 1099, the Fatimid ruler expelled the native Christian population, just before Jerusalem was overwhelmed by the soldiers of the First Crusade. After taking the sturdily fortified city by assault, the Crusaders massacred most of its Muslims and Jewish inhabitants. They made it the capital of their Kingdom of Jerusalem. The city, which had been almost vacated, was recolonized by a varied inflow of Greeks, Bulgarians, Hungarians, Georgians, Armenians, Syrians, Egyptians, Nestorians, Maronites, Jacobite Miaphysites, Copts, and others, to block the return of the surviving Muslims and Jewish. The northeastern quarter was repopulated with Eastern Christians from the Transjordan. As a result, by 1099, Jerusalem's population had climbed back to some 30,000. This was the ancient city of Jerusalem, Part 3. Please stay tuned for Part 4. Adonai Nisi, the Lord, is our banner. Remember, if these videos are what you like to watch, please click the red subscription button below and the bell for more notifications. God's blessings be upon this message and us all.